Ever wonder if there's really something you could take to, boost your brain health? It's a huge question, right? Well, today we're going to dive into some of the fascinating science behind it.
Okay, so to make sense of all this, I want you to try something with me. Just for a minute, forget all the complicated biology stuff. Instead, I want you to picture your brain as a city, a huge, sprawling, nonstop metropolis.
And we're not talking about just any old city. This is the busiest city in the entire universe. Billions of signals are firing off every single second. It's wild. But just like any big city, it's got its problems, right? Think traffic jams, pollution, infrastructure that's constantly needing repairs. You get the idea.
So, let's meet the main troublemakers, the biggest villains trying to cause a little chaos in our brain city. These are the everyday threats that our internal systems are always fighting to keep under control.
First up on the villain roster, we've got something we'll call brain rust. Now, the sciencey term is oxidative stress, but basically it's caused by these tiny, unstable particles that act like little vandals running around, damaging the city's most important structures, the buildings and power lines our brain cells absolutely need to work.
Villain number 2, the junk pileup. I mean, every city needs a great sanitation department, right? Well, in the brain, when the system for clearing out old or broken proteins gets overwhelmed, junk like amyloid beta starts to clump together. And suddenly, you've got roadblocks and things just gumming up the works.
And our third and final villain is the communication breakdown. So our brain city relies on the super important protein called BDNF. Think of BDNF as the city's head of construction. When those BDNF levels get low, it gets way harder to build new roads or fix old ones. You end up with potholes all over the memory highway, and everything just slows down. All right, so those are the bad guys. But here's where it gets interesting. The research we're digging into today explores a potential team of heroes, or maybe let's call them super helpers, a specialist team that might just be able to lend a hand.
So let's meet the team. First, we have the protector crew, which are compounds called anthocyanins. Then we've got our regulation officer, apigenin. Our guardian is a compound called carnosine. And last but not least, we have quercetin, who acts as the city's quality manager. Each one has a very specific job to do.
Okay, so we've met the team, but how do these helpers actually fight back against those villains we talked about? Let's take a look at their unique superpowers and match them to the problems plaguing our city.
Would you look at that? Turns out our entire team, all 4 of them, are on the case when it comes to fighting brain rust and dealing with that junk pileup. They're all-rounders. But when it comes to fixing that communication breakdown, the research points specifically to 2 key players, our protector crew and the regulation officer.
So let's jump into their first big superpower, cleaning up all that nasty brain rust. This is all about cleanup and protection, kind of like a citywide maintenance program designed to keep everything from getting old and corroded. This is all about their antioxidant power. And what's really cool is they don't just work alone. They actually support the brain's own built-in cleaning crew. They help fire up these powerful enzymes that neutralize those damaging particles. It's all about teamwork, protecting the brain's delicate infrastructure from all that daily wear and tear.
Okay, on to superpower number 2, managing the junk. This is all about quality control, right? Making sure the city's sanitation department is running like a well-oiled machine so that protein garbage doesn't start piling up on the streets.
So let's watch this in action with our quality manager, quercetin. First, a cell sends out a stress signal, a call for help. In response, quercetin comes in and helps activate a master switch. That switch then calls in the cell's emergency repair crew. You can think of them as the special forces, known as heat shock proteins. This crew are the absolute experts at folding proteins correctly and clearing out the junk before it can cause trouble. It's an amazing internal quality control system.
And that brings us to superpower number 3, rebuilding the roads. This is all about boosting BDNF. Remember him? Our city's construction chief. So look, on the left, with low BDNF, you get traffic jams, potholes, slow repairs. But on the right, with healthy levels, the city is thriving. New roads are being built, connections are stronger, and you've got smooth traffic for all your thoughts and memories.
So who are the heroes in charge of all this construction? Well, the research points to our protector crew, the anthocyanins, and our regulation officer, apigenin. They're being studied for how they might support these crucial BDNF pathways, basically giving the city's repair crews the resources they need to keep the whole city running smoothly.
Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds amazing, right? Incredibly promising. But before we get carried away, we have to hit pause for a really, really crucial reality check. While this science is super exciting, it's vital we understand what it is and, more importantly, what it isn't.
And I'm going to read this next part directly from the source material, because it is without a doubt the single most important sentence in this entire explainer. None of these is an FDA-approved treatment for Alzheimer's disease. Let me say that again. This is emerging research. It is not established medical treatment.
So, to wrap this all up, what are the big takeaways? 1. Your brain is a complex city that needs protecting. 2. It faces daily threats from rust and junk. 3. Scientists are studying some really cool compounds in nature that might lend a hand. But, and this is the big one, this is all emerging science, not a list of cures. And that leads us to our final and most crucial point.
Before you ever consider adding a new supplement or making any kind of big change to your routine, there is one step, just one, and it is absolutely 100% non-negotiable. And that step is talking to a healthcare professional. They are the true expert here. They are the city planner who actually knows your unique city inside and out. They're the only ones who can give you personalized advice on what's safe and what's actually right for you.
So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Let's forget supplements for just a second. What's one small, simple step? Maybe it's a walk, a healthy meal, maybe just getting a good night's sleep. What's one thing you can do today to support the health and vitality of your own incredible, amazing city?